Coming to the structural consultants who are actually going to take the decision of using GFRP, uh, do you have any advice on what to use for designing with GFRP per se?
Actually, this is an excellent question. Try to create some context about it. If I think of the three pillars of a project, we have the owner, obviously, we have the designer, and we have the contractor. Sometimes the most difficult professional to convince about the use of innovation is the engineer. The engineer, not the engineer is not, let's say, anchored to tradition, but the engineer needs to learn new tricks, if you wish, when we talk about innovation. So I think the convincing the engineers that this is a great technology is very important. Also because engineers have an incredible duty, that is that one of designing according to codes, right? To ensure the safety of the public. You know, one thing is to advocate innovation because it's important to humankind, but on the other side, engineers have the duty of design safe structures. So I think the engineers need to become more engaged in this process of innovation and have the ability not only to design with traditional, but also with new materials. Luckily, as let's say technical society, and in particular the American Concrete Institute, an organization extremely dear to my heart, we have made very significant progress in developing codes and specifications that would help the engineer implementing these technologies. So I think engineers need to really embrace them. I recognize the difficulties sometimes, and also the engineering profession today uses technologies, software, you know, for design, and also these software houses hopefully will deploy very soon, you know, design algorithms and design software that can help the engineering community.
So are there any designing software or designing books, designing codes that you recommend to the structural consultants today?
Okay, so without obviously, here is for transparency. I don't sell these things, and I'm only part of, let's say, the R&D community. I would say from a perspective of tools that are fundamental to a professional, an engineer, I think you have to look at two organizations, in particular, the American Concrete Institute and ASTM. ACI has issued in 2022 a code, we call it 440.11-22, that allows the engineer to design according to the principles that are obviously very well established, but using GFRP as reinforcement. ACI also has a document that is a construction specification. So you have the two tools, you can design and you can build. And then if you look at ASTM, ASTM has in particular two material specifications, ASTM D7957 and ASTM D8505, that allow the manufacturer to make GFRP bars according to this specification, and obviously for the specifier to specify this material. So these are very, very important tools. There is other organization, I don't want to make a list. Our colleagues in Canada, for example, are doing great things. Our colleagues in Europe, if you look at the Eurocodes, but I think in my mind, there is a little edge here in terms of, let's say, North American, you know, let's say, documents that can help the designer. The other question that you pose is, are there private organizations developing software? I know of one, Altair, that has started this process. So I think they will soon catch up and they will provide the designers with the tools that they need. Some of the manufacturers of the GFRP bars are also deploying their own design methodologies, which can help, but I think this is more of a commercial aspect than, let's say, broad for any engineering community.
FRP रीबार बोले तो FiBAR।